Hey guys, 2.5k followers on YouTube, 1.3k followers on Facebook. Really appreciate the support, guys. Keep it coming. And don't forget to like me on Facebook. Well, you guys probably already have. Follow me, like my videos, subscribe and everything. Thanks so much for the support and join me in the discussion page. Recently I've been getting a lot of emails and questions about how my fish are so human interactive, why they come to me like dogs even though a lot of fish tend to be skittish and run away, and how come I can hand feed some of them, pet them, and basically interact with them. So this is a guide that shows the steps in which I took to familiarize myself with my fish and to make them feel comfortable in their new homes when they otherwise wouldn't be in a fish tank perhaps. If you've watched Dog Whisperer, it might seem a little bit silly, but Cesar Millan talks about energy and he talks about calm, assertive energy. Well, for fish, you don't really need to be assertive because I don't really think they listen so much as dogs do, but I definitely do believe in the calm part. You know, animals are very instinctual, and although you may not be able to communicate with your fish verbally, they definitely do feed off your energy. So generally, if you're very calm, and if you don't panic, like if you're about to reach out to touch your arowana and you do it very nervously, your fish will actually feel it, you know, and they'll actually, react accordingly. So I'm really strong advocate of being calm and being relaxed when you're around your fish, and they will feed off your energy. You know, they're a lot like dogs where they absorb your own emotions. So if you're calm and relaxed, they're usually calm and relaxed. So definitely approach your fish during feeding time or interacting time or just when you're sitting around them, and don't shout or make sudden movements or panic. The next part is time and effort. Look, nothing can substitute a lot of time and effort that you put into your fish, and many famous breeders truly swear by the fact that fish such as high intelligent fish such as arowanas or even goldfish who people think have 2-second memories, they recognize their owners. And I really do believe this because my fish personally, after keeping them for 12 years or more, they react differently to me than they do to other fish, or they react differently to my helpers who feed them every day than random people who feel scared around them or unsure. They definitely they've never bitten me before, they've never bitten my helpers, so that says one thing. And basically, be the one to feed them when you can. Even when you don't feed them, just sit around them, be around them, and let them hear your voice, because they really do recognize maybe the energy or the intonation or the tone. And if you just talk to them, I mean, that's more than good enough. And personally, I spend a few hours a day outside just with my fish, chilling, hanging out with them, feeding them, interacting with them, and that will definitely help in making them feel comfortable around you. A more extreme interpretation could be that one fish breeder told me that an arowana actually developed such a strong bond with the kid that when he went overseas to study, the arowana actually refused to eat. But when the boy came back and he could recognize his voice and maybe how he looks like, the arowana started eating again. Personally, I haven't had that experience myself because they still eat when I'm gone. But I don't know, it depends on what you want to believe, and who's to say what's right or wrong, because we can't actually prove something so intangible. The next part deals with the issue of ponds versus tanks. Although this is not truly necessary to the fullest, I do feel like putting your fish in a pond really accelerates the process of solidifying a bond with them. I know it's not completely necessary or even available for some people, but from my personal experience, especially with my silver arowanas, the minute I put them into a pond, it's almost like they arrived in a more familiar surrounding where they had tons of space. They never felt trapped or scared in a corner, so they never felt the need to jump as much or run away, because in a tank, if you can imagine it, if you're kept in a glass tank, you suddenly have a 360 view of the entire world around you. Humans walking around you, heavy machinery, cars, lots of sounds and noises and visual aids, and that's a pretty scary thing because it's a very unnatural, artificial environment for fish. So I feel like putting them in a pond really simulates nature, and my arowanas, they turn into totally different fish who almost immediately allow me to pet them. They almost immediately come to me during feeding time, and it's just a very different experience. So that's just my what I experienced with my fish personally. So if you can and you have the means to do it, get your fish in a pond, and I guarantee that you'll see results much faster. Now, touching fish is a subject that a lot of people have asked me about. Basically, to touch a fish, you have to gain their trust. You really have to interact a lot with them, as said above, and you have to clean their tanks, make them familiar with your hands so they don't fear it. They don't associate it with, you know, always like netting them, or you know, they associate it more with like feeding, and you know, if they know it doesn't hurt them, that they're gonna be okay with it. And also, just with respect to touching them, fish like to feel safe. So when they touch your hands, always touch them with the soft part of your hand, like, you know, the fatty bits of your hand. Don't touch them with your knuckles or anything hard, because they always freak out. Even my arowanas, who are so tame, always freak out when they feel my knuckle, because they just associate it with danger. So always be gentle, be confident, don't like make sudden movements, just be like confident and just pet them, and they'll usually be calm if you're calm. Obviously, you should not do this when they're hungry. You should always make sure that they're well fed, so that they're not likely to snap at you. Don't pet them in their mouths or near their faces. Always pet them on their body if you have to. But anyways, I wouldn't recommend petting them too much, because fish do have a protective slimy coat on the outside. So only pet them occasionally, and only maybe like a couple times a week or something. I don't know, but not like constantly, because you don't want to wipe away all that protective slime coat. It's not good for them. Lastly, I need to talk about breed limitations. Unfortunately, not every single breed of fish can do this, but saying so, not all fish of the same breed are the same as each other, just like humans are. So for example, from my experience, breeds like garfish, jardinis, green arowanas, or any Asian arowana, or tigerfish, African tigerfish, and they're just not comfortable with humans on a whole. Like, even in a pond environment, even when the other fish come to me regularly, they always are a bit standoffish, because I think it's just their predisposition and their genetics. They were genetically bred to avoid humans or any warning signs that may harm them. So it's really hard for them to fight how they were born, their predispositions. So basically, the friendliest breeds that I've encountered are definitely my red-tailed catfish, my arapamas, my hybrids, and definitely my silver arowanas are the most human-tame fish in my pond. However, they have bitten my dad and my uncle, so just remember that they are animals, they're wild by nature, and we just have to read the warning signs and be very careful. Just get to know your fish, and you'll definitely be more aware of what to look out for in the future. Please do not try any of this on wolffish, snakeheads, some crazy catfish that are going to attack you, because unfortunately they're limited by their breeds. So just be wary of this. Thanks for watching. I hope you enjoyed the video. I'll see you guys next time. Please leave your comments and messages below or on my Facebook page. Peace out.